Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This one is gonna be a story time, um, pretty much of how my daughter came about. Sorry, I'm so tired. Anyway, so I figured I'd do a story time about my pregnancy and my labor and delivery with her. So stay tuned. So everything was going on the rocks with me and my son's dad. So I was working at Burger King at the time, and I met this guy. I'm not gonna say names. Um, we became friends. I hung out with him a couple times behind my son's dad's back because he was doing the same to me. And at the time, me and this guy were just friends. One night, me and my son's dad got into a argument, so the cops got called, and I had to leave for the night without my son because I didn't want to bring him, and he had a place and he was safe. So sorry, my cat. But anyway, that night I really don't remember a lot. I remember being there and laying down, and that's all I remember. And then I woke up, my pants were off. It's hard to talk about, but yeah. So I realized something had happened, but I couldn't mark out what had happened. So then Elijah and I made up. Well, my son's dad and I made up. His name's Elijah. You guys know that. He's on my channel. And I went back and did stuff with him, makeup, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So then that weekend, we didn't have our son, so we had a friend come over and we were drinking. And then, 3 days later, I was nauseous. Nauseous as heck. And I was like, we drank 3 days ago, so I don't know if it's that still or what. I went to Walmart, got 2 of the cheap pregnancy tests, and sure enough, it was positive. I took 6 of them, all came out positive. By the time I went to my first appointment, I was 13 weeks. Well, 12 to 13 weeks. We had to do all those scans. I had to be, it was 20 weeks. Almost 20 weeks, and I had to be shipped to Iowa City because she did the test of Down syndrome, and she was 50% chance of having Down syndrome. So we had to go to Iowa City. I was considered high risk then. I found out I was having a girl. Met up with the guy that, pretty much did stuff to me without me knowing. Told him that I was having a girl because at this point, I didn't know who her dad was. I really thought she had the same dad as my son. And stuff went on and on and on. I had a really good pregnancy until the end. I had really bad heartburn. Had to sleep sitting up. It was just rough towards the end. I had preeclampsia. And I had to be induced. Her due date was March 31st, 2018. And I was induced March 30th, 2017. So we went there in the morning at 6 a.m. My friend had my son, and I started getting induced by, I want to say, 8 or 9 o'clock. I was having strong contractions without Pitocin. Hallelujah. And then by 4 o'clock. They came in and I was a 10. Don't worry, I'll be putting pictures in here so that way you guys can see all, you know, I'll be putting pictures up in here towards the end. It was like, no, I want to say it was like close to 3:45 because I didn't push for very long. And then they're like, well, you can start pushing or we can wait a little bit. So we waited a little bit, and then at 4 o'clock, I started pushing, and within 3 pushes, she was out. And here is the pictures. She was 7 pounds and 8.1 ounces. She had lots of hair. So that's how she was born. Now I'm going to go into a little bit detail of how I found out on how she did not have the same dad as my sons. So I got into a fight with Elijah again. Then we broke up for a little bit. I was going to try to get child support. So we had to do a DNA test. Well, we went and did the DNA test. Sure enough, obviously Aiden's his. And at this point, when we got the DNA test back for her, for this little bugger, we were back together. Everything was fine and everything worked out. Here, just take it. Everything worked out and I started crying. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, she's not yours. Even though I personally think she's still partially his. I don't know. He's been there for her since birth. And she calls him daddy and stuff like that. So then I was going to get child support from her sperm donor. But then I realized she doesn't know him, so really it'd be just stupid. So then I just said, well, maybe we should just still go through with it so then he can sign his rights off. Well, that was last year. Last year, 2019. Sorry, it was just 2019 in October that we finally got the DNA test done between her, me, and her sperm donor. And that came back 100% his kid. I would show you the paperwork, but I don't want the name being leaked. Anyway, he was going to sign his rights off. He had so many days after the paternity test was final. I will put the messages he said about my daughter up here, and then I'll finish the rest of the story. Okay. Mind you, he had met her prior to this. I let him meet her when she was 10 months old. No. She was almost a year old. She was 11 and a half months old. And he bailed on her. He bought her stuff and then bailed on her a day before her first birthday. A day. I have pictures of them meeting for the first time and stuff like that. And I'll add that to this video because it just breaks my heart. Anyway, she was scared of him. She wanted nothing to do with him. So yeah. But then I got in touch with his wife. He is married to this girl and had a kid with her. That kid is now seven months old. me and her talk, but she wants to get back together with him, so I'm gonna block her and not talk to her after I know he's gonna sign his rights off. She proceeds to tell me that he got arrested. I don't know what for, but he got arrested. And then just a couple days back, she told me how he wanted to be a dad to her son, and that he's getting out in February or March 18th. So stupid. But anyway, so I am still waiting on the process for him to sign his rights off of her, because she's way happier without him. It's a little doozy of a story, I know, but I will keep you guys updated on her story and if she gets adopted and stuff like that. I'll put everything, like I'll put a bunch of pictures up of like her birth, my pregnancy, her birth, what her dad, her sperm donor said to her about her, yeah, and then I'll show you pictures of her with my boyfriend now, which is my son's dad. So, that is the story. She is now 2 years old. Taylor, come here. Come here. When she gets her cup, I'll show her what she looks like now. And this is what she looks like now. She's eating. But she is almost going to be 3. That says 4, honey. There. So if you'd like to see more videos of me and her, just say so. Alright, and that's it for the story time.